That's right. I love my wife so much. I love her so much that I'm gonna build these stairs. I don't know what's in the coffee this morning, guys, but I got great ideas.
Hey everyone, welcome to It's All Grady. I'm Denise.
And I'm Marcel.
Welcome to our homestead.
Yeah, welcome to our homestead. If you guys don't already know, we're a small family that gave up big city life to start our homestead in rural America.
Part of building our homestead is building our house.
Exactly. And if we're not building our house, guys, we're building our farm. Who knows what we're doing?
So previously, we left you off with our final stair layout.
In our last video, we drew out 3 different options to choose from for us. And we came up with these options based on this little area that we had to work with.
With the 3 options laid out on the floor, we were able to make some critical decisions.
It's to scale. That way we could feel what we were trying to do.
So with such little space, we want to make sure that we are maximizing every little inch of our house that we possibly can.
I was so certain, guys, like so certain that I was going to build our stairs a certain way. I was so certain that I drove 2 hours round trip and bought lumber for this. So with that being said, guys, we need to return some lumber.
All right, everyone, we are here in Mountain Home at the Home Depot. Marcel just went to go get us a cart because we have to return this lumber. We're ready to take the next steps on the stair build. However, we don't have the right lumber right now. So with the plans changing for the stairs, we need some bigger boards. I'm gonna tell you guys, it is a hot one today. Whew. Yes, it's hot. All right, so here comes Marcel with the cart. We are going to load up all the lumber. We've already loaded up and unloaded. Now we got to put it back on the cart, take it back, get some new lumber, and then move on from there. And you guys, we didn't even bring the fishing poles.
What's up, baby cakes?
You tired of carrying that lumber around yet?
Tired of carrying everything around right now. Yesterday wore me out a bit. But not as much as it did the first time. How do you like me now?
So thankfully it's not a whole lot of boards to load up, but it's still a few nonetheless. And some of them are pretty big, but the ones we're changing them in for are even bigger.
We'll need less boards, but they'll be bigger and heavier. Because these are 2x10x10s. I'm getting 2x12x12s next. But I only need 6 of them. They'll appreciate that I brought a bunch of straight boards back too, you know? Alright guys, so we are in Mountain Home at Home Depot. I am returning the lumber since we're not building a deck. I'm going to exchange this for the stringer lumber because we're ready for that stuff. It's sad to see the lumber go, guys, because we've already paid for it and gathered it, but things changed and there's no sense in sitting on a bunch of 2x10s that I'll not use for much. That's the whole stairs right there, as long as those are the right straps. You know what I mean? That's stair treads, stringers, the wall to carry the splice, and the bottom. Yeah. Bam. All right, it's gonna be a lot more expensive than last time. All right, guys, let's get out of here, man. We got to do the easy part where I get to load these all back up into my truck by myself. All by myself.
Yeah, they're too heavy. You're on your own, babe.
Well, we're happy to come back here and check out this little river, even though we can't fish here. It's a beautiful little spot to stop and check out. Exercise baby Cakes' foot because it needs exercise occasionally. Yeah? It's a good times. See him trying to jump up the waterfall. Man, it's sweet down here, huh? It feels nice and cool. It feels air conditioned.
Feels so good down here.
All right, we got a live to do. We need to get back. We still got about 40 minutes to drive.
All right, you guys. It's always nice stopping at this little spot when we come to town. It's just so majestic. Alright everyone, so it was a long day in town.
It was, but we got all of our lumber returned and we purchased most of everything that we need to build these stairs. Now when I was at the store, I thought for sure I had everything, but what I forgot about, guys, was the back piece of wood, right? So we got the stringers and the stair treads. We just don't have the backer, the riser board, but not a problem. So the only thing we have to do now, guys, is make our final measurements, plug those numbers into the calculator, and it's time to start. It's 126.5 plus 3/8, which gives us 126 7/8. That's our finish, 126 7/8. So what I want to check and verify here, guys, is if my header height to the concrete is the same here as it is two or 3 feet that way, then I will go with this number. If there's a 1/4 of an inch variation, I will add that number because we don't want to be off by that much where our stair tread ends, where it lands. I'll have two choices when I get to that point. I'll either have a stair tread that needs to be kind of customized to fit, or I have to grind concrete. I don't feel like grinding concrete right now, guys. I'm already sore about it. I've been sore about it for a couple of years now. It's getting better, but every time I have to deal with it, it's a reminder. I hope it's pretty close to the same. It should be. Most of our biggest problems are where the concrete's at. All right, guys. So here's where our stair ends, right here. We know right here is where our stair ends, so I will pull a measurement to the floor joist above me and see if there is that much difference, because we're looking for 1/13 and 13/16, and if there's a huge variation, we want to make sure that we're making those adjustments now, guys, because later is too late. You guys seriously don't want to know what this is. This is 1/14 and an 1/8. I'm trying to find any other reason it could be something other than the concrete. I am just going to throw a level down there real quick, just check the area a little bit, see how bad it is. I'm probably going to just lose my mind, probably. I don't know. So, right there's perfect. Let's just see. That's just a little over perfect. So this is probably about 3/16 of an inch thick. I'm gonna say in 4 feet, it's out 1/8 of an inch in 4 feet. So we'll just mark there, a rough mark. We'll measure to the bottom edge of the floor. I'll add the thickness of the subflooring and the thickness of my finished floor upstairs, and we'll get this number even more accurate than it would have been right here, because in just that short of a distance, it's off by 3/16 of an inch. Curious whether our block was bad. We did get it fixed. We were able to fix the unlevel concrete in the block, so by the time we get up there, we're pretty much good again. So there was a few spots that wasn't exact, but look at that, man. Come on, you can't complain about that. There's a possibility we'll be like making special cuts, or even possibly a shim, because even this way, from the block wall this way over 42 inches, I'm off at least 1/8 of an inch. At least 1/8 of an inch. So what we'll probably do is we'll cut the very first one, and we'll cut it exactly, and then the next one we'll take that same measurement, and if we have to, we can add that little wee bit at the bottom, just at the bottom though, because you don't want to change the numbers, because then your stairs could do a little bit of different stuff too, and you may not be able to notice it very much when you're walking up it, but over time you're going to notice that it sounds like a creepy old creaky house. You know what I'm saying? We'll pull this measurement first. It appears that we're getting further away, like as we get closer to this side, it gets a little lower. So that being said, I know that I'll be adding a little bit of material with my second stringer, so we'll do every measurement custom. The first one, we're going to start with 126. We'll add the thickness of the subfloor and the thickness of the finished floor. So I'm not exactly sure, it's like 30 seconds. An inch and 1/8 strong. 26, 27 and 1/8. I'll just call it 27 and 1/8. It's an inch and 1/8. This says 30 seconds, but that little fuzz ain't gonna make that much of a difference. So that's the number we're gonna go for. It's 127 and 1/8. Okay? Come on, man. You're making me look real brave. There it is. All right, guys. So problem with these boards are they didn't have any that were 12 feet long that were untreated, which means all of these boards are like a 1,000-pound piano. And if you guys know anything about that, Gage and I and 2 other people moved a 1,000-pound piano the other day. It's time to try to learn how to use some of these tools. So what we've decided to use, which was really the only choice that we had anyways, is a 2x12. And I bought a 2x12x12. I probably could have went 2x12x10s. For whatever reason, I had it in my head that that number was 22 feet long. Big Jim, if you listening, that might be why you was so confused when I said how long it needed to be. It's because it's 17 feet, not 22. But somewhere in here, guys, I'm gonna have to have a splice. We're not gonna worry about that right this very minute. What we do need to do is make a decision on how we're going to lay this out. There's a couple of ways that I learned that look pretty good, guys. So we're gonna use the square, guys. I'm not gonna cut some jig and try to slide it up and down this thing, because that's just another job. They already made the jig for us, guys, and it just so happens that Keith with Building and Keith and Mickey had these, and they allowed me to use them, guys, which is amazing. All right, guys, so what we need to do, first of all, one thing that I always need to do is I need to visualize the piece that I'm about to work. because you can make a mistake, guys, and cut the wrong side. You can mark it out wrong and it will be backwards. So when I'm gonna look at this piece, I'm actually gonna work backwards so that you and I can hang out, because the view is better this way. But I need to lay this out backwards. What we're going to do is look down at the board here. We're gonna visualize that this is stood up this way. So this will be the top of the stringer, guys. Okay, and this will be the bottom. And it will be our very first stringer, starts there and goes down. Okay, so that's where we're at with this one. Now what we need to do is determine how we're going to connect these clamps. We know that we have a run of 10 inches and we have a rise of 7 1/16 of an inch. That's where you clamp these babies at. But there's two different ways, guys. There's one way that I've seen a bunch of people, and that's clamping it to the outside. And it's a really good idea, guys, and I'm going to show you why. Because if I clamp this right here at 10 inches on the inside, I can follow a line through here to 11.5 inches on this side, and we can line these 2 points up every single time. We could line these 2 points up on our last step, which is almost like, it's like lining up the lines, guys. It's perfect. You can line it up. However, if you do it the other way on the inside, guys, I might have to check it again. I'm pretty sure if you do it on the inside, then I can take this, pop it over to the other side, and I can mark out my treads and my first connection piece if it's correct. To me, that sounds better. So we know that if this is the top, guys, then we're going to be notching this out. It looks something like this. Yeah? It's going to be something like that, right? Just little hoop hoop. I don't want to do too much drawing because I'm not feeling very artistic right now. But we know that it'll be up and at this angle, right? Which means our rise will go this way and our run will go this way, yeah? So that being said, it needs to be marked out like that, or like that. That's right. I love my wife so much. I love her so much that I'm gonna build these stairs. I don't know much, but I know what. What? Okay, guys, so because my square doesn't actually have 16th marks, I'm just going to verify this with my tape measure. We'll pull the tape because what we want the point to hit right on 7 1/16. That's it right there. 7 1/16. All right, guys, so I've got my, I think they call it a stringer gauge is what they call these. And I do believe they're typically brass, right? But they probably got some other version somewhere. But this seems to be a pretty common one. I've seen some people that took a piece of board that went across on top and bottom and they pinched it in, and that seemed to work. And some people, they'll use C-clamps, and that will seem to work. You just need to make sure that your rise and run is pretty consistent. So you'll probably want to continue to check it along the way. There is one more finer detail that I forgot to mention that we're going to check right now before we start marking, and that is called a crown. We want to make sure that the crown of our stairs, the crown on this board is up, right? Because if it's down, then it will just continue to sag. If it's up, then it should push into place, yeah? So let's just verify where the crown is, and if we're still good, then we'll just start marking, guys. If not, I'll have to do a little flip-floppy here on this board so that we can keep the same sweet background. really unfortunate. Let's go ahead and flip this board and then I can cut it the way we're still doing it. So one thing we want to make sure that we go ahead and cut off any like damaged board. We want to make sure we start out down low enough. And I think we're ready, man. I'm just gonna bump this up. Guys, we are only marking one board. It's been recommended time and time again that we mark one board, cut it, dry fit that baby to make sure that you actually got what you're needing before you mark out all the boards and cut them all and find out that you made a colossal mistake. I have a history of such things. So I'm gonna make sure that I dot all my T's and cross all my I's this time, and we're not gonna forget nothing. Okay? All right. Let's just see if this works. That's my very first line, guys, for the Stair stringer. Did you feel the power behind that? What? All right, guys, you ready for this? Now, I can take this. Wait a second. Okay, so I did do something wrong here. For my very first one, I want to, I was only supposed to, okay, hold on, I gotta watch this again real quick. Is that okay, baby cakes? I just want to verify that I'm doing it correctly. Turns out there's a little better way. Well, I'm gonna try it real quick, guys. We're gonna put it to the test. None of this should move. I should just be able to flop it right to the other side. Okay, hold on here. It went like this. So it's 7 1/16. And 10. Okay. All right, I think this is gonna be correct, baby cakes. I hope so, man. All right, so he said that he did just a little bit of this, right? And then he drew out his whole run like this, okay? And then you go to the bottom like this. And you line it up like this. Draw this out like this. That's your first cut. So this is cut. This is cut. It goes boom, boom. Right? And then, so this is number one. And then we go to there, to there. Right. This is number 3. So we got 12 of the 17 stairs marked out on this first stringer. So we are going to have a splice. That's all right because the longer lumber was so expensive that it was just better to do it this way. It's really not that big of a deal. I'll make a decision whether I'm going to butt it. Guys, we'll either butt it or we will like lap it. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put plenty of support underneath these stairs because we are going to turn this into partial closet for Gage and under the stairs storage for the rest of it. So we'll have framing in there to separate, and we'll make sure that that framing turns into support. So there's no springy in the stairs and none of that stuff. But bam, we did it, baby. You know what I mean? Check it out, man. I love this little, so I don't know if you can see it because I did a little extra drop right in there, but if you look, you will see that it will be cut here and here. This part goes up against, bam! That is the degree that it needs to be. So, and if I was gonna finish it off on the bottom, guys, you just put it on the other end and you mark that end, guys, and it gives you your last step for the bottom. It's a pretty sweet process. I know I probably blew it out of proportion by stressing myself out because there's geniuses that build this, guys, and then there's the average person like myself. And we're doing it right here, right now. We did not forget about the camber in the board. We punched in all the numbers. We've reached out to all the people. We've done all of the YouTube University we could possibly do, guys. We marked out our first stringer. All we got to do now is cut it. Man, I hope I drew this thing out correctly. I hope I drew it out correctly. I'm going to check, double check, and triple check just to make sure. All right, guys, so I've got this marked. I got this first stringer marked out. And once again, it's been recommended time and time again by the pros that you mark one out, you cut one, you fit one, and when that one works, guys, then you cut the rest, because you could really be messing up if you mark them all out, cut them all up, and then you find out later that your very first measurement wasn't gonna work. Then you have a bunch of cut up lumber, and that's not cool, man, especially for the pocketbook, you know what I'm saying? So we've got it marked out. We got it ready to cut. It is pretty late already. I'm not gonna mess with that. It's too late for me to get into cutting right now. We got other things going on the farm, guys, but I'm glad that we got this baby started. I know it's gonna work out great. We got a few other things we got to address, man. As a matter of fact, the boy is already out there getting after where he left off the last time, getting prepared for hunting, guys. And we got some other stuff we got to take care of, man. So for now, we're gonna set this project to the side and get back to it after we get our farm stuff done.
All right, guys, feeling a little bit under the weather today, so we're gonna take it nice and easy. You saw me clear out a trail throughout the woods. Purpose for that was for this coming hunting season. Make it safer and quieter to walk into the woods at dark o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the trail now. Isn't gonna take much because you got a little strip here and then follow the line. So I've only got a couple poles right now. Let's get it done. Shine even a red light on that, which animals are supposed to not be able to see, but it'll still reflect off of this, so we'll be able to see it. There we go. And as you see, we got the fence line that separates the property lines from the 110 to the other. So this doesn't need to be marked because it's already marked. Do a little bit of extra clearing where it's needed. Yep, I remember now. We'll go right over here. And that brings us to the first stand. That's where I'm likely to do the majority of my hunting this year. I will have to do a little bit more work and get some more poles because the blind is like right there. If you know what these are, let me know in the comment section.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on every exciting step of our journey. If you guys are enjoying our content, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up.
Bam!
Ring that notification bell.
Heck yeah, guys. When you do that, they're going to notify you when our content is available for viewing.
Be sure to share our videos.
Heck yeah, guys. When you do that, you help extend our reach. And we really are trying to make this, we're trying to make this work for us. So every time you guys do that, we thank you.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
Right now is a perfect time, guys. You've seen it, man. I drew on a board and not on cardboard.
It's an exciting new step in our journey.
And it just so happens to be steps. How about that? All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Peace.
We're building stairs.
We doing it, y'all. Yeah.
Man, we've been building stairs the whole time.
Yeah.
Every step we've taken is called building stairs.
Yeah.
First, we had to build the house to get the stairs to go in here, right? So every project up to this point is really just a stair project in the making. Yeah?
See you later.
All right, guys.